How's it going, everybody? Alongside TJ Calkins, Jay Sannon here for ATS, getting you ready for the UFC Vegas 45 card. TJ from the Apex, of course, headlined by Chris Daukaus taking on Derrick Lewis. We will get to that fight in just a little bit. But before we do that, I know you have three plays on this card. We'll start out with Ricky Simón taking on Rafael Assuncao. Simón, a minus 280 favorite. Do you think he lives up to it against the fighter in Assuncao who has not won since July of 2018?
Yeah, I think it's super justified. Assuncao, he was completely high end back in the day, but now we're talking about a 39-year-old bantamweight. I mean, that is truly ancient. He's been finished in two of his last three fights, three losses in a row. The big one, man, Cody Garbrandt absolutely starched him. So the durability's not there. He doesn't have the pace to keep up with Simón. And I mean, Simón, the only guy that is in Simone's category as far as cardio and wrestling and just pushing that pace is Merab Dvalishvili. And Simón just going to put the pace on him. He's going to take him down, mat return him. And, Assuncao's never finished a fight from his back in the UFC. So it's not like, he's a quality grappler. He'll be able to stand back up and get mat return. I don't think Simón has to worry about being submitted on the floor. So I think we're just going to see a wrestling heavy approach from Simón once again, and that's going to be enough to win him the fight. We're just see takedowns. We're going to see Assuncao worn down and probably a decision, but Simón could get a later finish here if he wears him down enough.
TJ, next up, Barcelos, a minus 325 favorite, taking on the UFC debutant Victor Henry. Do you think Henry can make an immediate impact here in UFC?
Not immediate, no, but I think he does eventually make an impact. When you get a 34-year-old debutant, you raise an eyebrow no matter what, But Henry's not the type of guy that's just going to be 2-3 fights and done, sacrificial lamb type. The problem is he's matched up with a pretty high-end fighter here in Barcelos and someone that's actually just out of his league and has him covered. Maybe a high-end fighter that has a hole here and is a specialist somewhere, maybe he would have had a chance. But they're both rounded fighters. But Barcelos is just levels above in every aspect of MMA. I think the volume is going to be similar. The power of Barcelos is going to be apparent on the feet. He's going to win those striking exchanges. I think he's a better grappler. I think the fight just progressively tilts towards Barcelos, and I think the volume increases. We're going to see a knockdown. Probably Barcelo gets on top. I think he finishes the fight on the floor. You get the minus 325 favorite at a plus 150 ITD line. That's where I'm going on.
Next up, TJ, Stephen Thompson is a minus 235 favorite taking on Belal Muhammad. Muhammad unbeaten since January of 2019. Do you think he keeps that streak going here as an underdog?
Interestingly enough, you bring up January 2019. If I recall, that was his date with Jeff Neal, in which Jeff Neal essentially put on a striking clinic on Muhammad. Since then, Jeff Neal's fought Stephen Thompson, who put a striking clinic on Jeff Neal. And while, that sort of MMA math doesn't always compute, I think this is a case where Thompson is just levels above as a striker. And that's no knock on Muhammad. Thompson is levels above 99% of strikers in every weight class across all of MMA. He's not a knockout artist. He's a point fighter. I'm not looking for a finish when I'm betting on Stephen Thompson. I'm just looking for him to put on a striking clinic like he generally does. And Belal, while he is a very good guy, he's kind of a jack of all trades but master of none, and he doesn't have that big power. He doesn't have that elite BJJ game. Those are one of the things you need to beat Stephen Thompson. He's just not going to have recourse for the striking of Thompson. It's going to be a runaway decision. And the minus 235 line is absolutely justified.
And TJ, I want to get your thoughts on the main event of this UFC Vegas 45 card. It's Chris Daukaus, a minus 140 favorite, taking on Derrick Lewis. Of course, the Black Beast coming off of his championship loss to Cyril Gane. Do you think he rebounds here? What do you think happens in this fight, even if you do not have a play on it?
Well, I think we're going to see a knockout. If that's a spoiler, on that minus 450 fight ends inside the distance line, I'm really out on a limb. But I I want to bet against Derrick Lewis essentially every time he fights, but I've just been burned, and I'm just not going to go out on that limb anymore. Daukaus, he's more athletic, he's quicker. Can't say he has more power than Lewis. Very few do, if any. But the way Daukaus just affects opponents with his strikes, it's very real. And he's going to be the leader in the volume department. He's going to land more, and it's going to be on Lewis to be the one to stay awake in this fight. And Lewis does have a way of just finding these improbable knockouts. I just think it's going to be Daukaus, but I'm just not willing to lay it. I think that plus 110 ITD line on Daukaus is attractive. And if you're needing action, that's what you should play. But I myself, I'm sitting that one out.
TJ, thank you for your expertise. UFC Vegas 45 on Saturday. For more from TJ on all of these fights, check out ATS.io. You get his written thoughts on all of his plays on this card. Until next time, TJ Calkins, Jay Sannon, saying see you later. Good luck on your fight night wagers this weekend.